Welcome, dear reader, to A Fable about following your dream and finding your personal legend. I'm so thrilled you've decided to embark on this journey with me. I understand that life can often feel like a winding, confusing road, filled with detours and unexpected obstacles. Sometimes, it's hard to even remember why we started walking in the first place. You might feel lost, uncertain, or perhaps even afraid to take the next step toward what truly matters to you. But within each of us lies a burning ember, a dream, a purpose, a personal legend, as we'll call it in this book. It's that quiet voice, whispering in your heart, urging you towards something more, something meaningful, something that only you can bring to the world. This book is for anyone who has ever felt that whisper, even if it's been years since you last heard it clearly. It's for those who are ready to dust off their dreams and begin the exhilarating adventure of bringing them to life. A fable about following your dream and finding your personal legend isn't just a story. It's a roadmap, carefully crafted to guide you toward discovering and living your truest potential. Through relatable characters, simple language, and everyday examples, we'll explore the universal challenges that often hold us back. Fear of failure, self-doubt, the expectations of others, and the comfort of the familiar. Don't worry. This journey won't require any special skills or grand gestures. It's about learning to listen to your intuition, embracing uncertainty, and taking small, consistent steps in the direction of your dreams. What will you gain from reading this book? You'll learn to identify and overcome the limiting beliefs that are silently holding you back. You will develop a stronger sense of self-belief and the confidence to pursue your goals, no matter how audacious they may seem. You'll discover the power of perseverance and resilience in the face of setbacks, learning to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth and learning. Most importantly, you'll learn to listen to that inner voice, the one that knows what truly makes your heart sing, and you'll gain the courage to follow it, no matter where it leads. You'll also learn to be more present and appreciate the journey itself, recognizing that the true reward lies not just in achieving your goals, but in the person you become along the way. You will learn how to embrace change. This is your moment. Let's begin uncovering your personal legend together. All right, friend, get ready to unlock the extraordinary. I'm fired up to share this journey with you. Let's dive into Chapter 1. Chapter 1, The Whispering Seed. Elias, bless his soul, was a farmer. Not a bad farmer, mind you. A good one. He woke with the sun, tilled his small field, and brought in enough to keep his family fed and comfortable. He knew every clod of earth, every songbird's call. Life was predictable, safe. Then came the seed. It wasn't just any seed. Elias found it glinting in the dust, catching the sunlight in a way that none of his usual seeds ever did. He almost missed it. But something made him pick it up, hold it. And then he heard it. Not with his ears, you understand, deeper, inside. It was a whisper, a suggestion. A vision, painted brighter than any sunrise he'd ever witnessed. It showed fields overflowing, harvests richer than he could imagine, techniques like modern farming, communities thriving because of his abundance. It was a dream so audacious, so far removed from his simple reality, that Elias almost dismissed it as a trick of the light, a foolish fancy. He'd planted good seeds for years without hearing anything. Nonsense, he muttered, almost throwing it away. See? That's how your dreams start, my friend, softly. Barely audible, like a tiny bird chirping in a hurricane. Easy to ignore, easy to dismiss. The world yells at you to be practical, be realistic, stick to what you know. Elias's neighbors would have told him to stop being silly. But something in Elias stirred. That whisper resonated with a part of him he'd almost forgotten existed. A part that yearned for more than just the predictable. A part that believed, deep down, that he was capable of more. This seed wasn't just about bigger crops. It was about bigger potential. About a life lived not just comfortably, but fully. It was about using his skills, his passion, to create a ripple, a wave of positive change. Elias didn't suddenly become an expert farmer overnight. He still had a field to tend, a life to live. But everything had changed. He had heard the whisper. And now he had a choice, to bury the seed, ignore the dream, and go back to his safe, predictable life. Or to take a chance, plant it, and see what impossible harvests might grow. What would you do? All right, friend, let's ignite that spark within you. Get ready to feel this, because leaving the familiar soil is where the real adventure begins. Chapter 2, Leaving the Familiar Soil. Elias stared out his window. The bakery below, owned by his family for generations, buzzed with life. The smell of fresh bread, the familiar faces. It was safe, secure, comfortable. But lately, a restlessness gnawed at him, a silent scream against the ordinary. That little voice, that seed of an idea planted in his heart, was demanding attention. Remember that whispering seed from the first chapter? Well, now it's sprouted, and it's demanding sunlight. That's sunlight? It's your dreams, your potential, everything you haven't dared to reach for yet. For Elias, the seed whispered of sculpting. He dreamed of shaping stone, of bringing raw, beautiful forms to life. But his family needed help. The bakery was a reliable income. And sculpting, well, that was a childish fancy, wasn't it? That's what everyone told him. Here's the thing. That's exactly the kind of thinking that keeps you stuck. That childish fancy is actually your compass. It's pointing you toward your golden field. Elias wrestled with it. Fear was a heavy cloak, wrapping him in doubt. What if he failed? What if he disappointed his family? What if he was no good? These what-ifs are parasites, sucking the life out of your ambition. Let me tell you something. Failure is only failure if you don't learn from it. Disappointment is a chance to rise up stronger. And being no good, that's just a starting point. Everyone starts somewhere. He paced, his gut twisting. He imagined the smooth feel of marble under his hands, the satisfaction of creating something lasting. Then he thought of the endless cycle of kneading dough, the predictable routine. The whisper of the seed grew louder, more insistent. Elias, it seemed to say, are you going to let fear dictate your life? That's the question for you too, my friend. Will you let fear paralyze you? Or will you choose courage? Elias knew deep down that staying was a slow kind of death. It was choosing comfort over passion, security over fulfillment. And that, he realized, was the biggest risk of all. He took a deep breath, walked downstairs, and told his family. It was hard. There were tears, arguments, and a lot of, but Elias. But he stood his ground. He explained his dream, his burning desire to create. I need to try, he said, his voice trembling but firm. I need to see where this leads. Leaving the familiar soil is never easy. It's uncomfortable. It's scary. But it's absolutely necessary if you want to truly live. It is taking the first step towards claiming joy by living life as you're designed to be. Remember, the greatest regret isn't failing, it's never even trying. So take that leap of faith, break free from the ties that bind you. Embrace the unknown, because that's where the magic happens. Are you ready to go? Let's go! Alright, get ready to feel this chapter, because life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. It's time to strap in for the road of thorns and treasures. Listen up. Elias, bless his heart, thought leaving his village was the hard part. Wrong. Stepping out is just the beginning. Now comes the real test. Imagine walking barefoot through a rose garden. Beautiful, right? But also painful if you don't watch where you're going. That's Elias's journey. He stumbles. He falls. He questions everything. 1 minute, he's feeling invincible. The next, he's ready to pack it all in and head back home to his predictable, safe little life. Sound familiar? We've all been there. Elias faces setbacks. A deal falls through. He loses his way. His limited savings dwindle faster than he expected. Doubt creeps in like a sneaky thief, whispering lies in his ear. You're not good enough. You're wasting your time. Go back where you belong. But, and this is a huge but, the road isn't just thorns. Along the way, Elias encounters people who believe in him, even when he doesn't believe in himself. He meets an old carpenter who teaches him a new skill, a wise woman who shares her life lessons, and a traveling merchant who offers him a place to stay. These mentors become his guides, his cheerleaders, his safety net. Think of it like this. You're building a house, your dream. You'll hit snags. Permits, bad weather, materials running short. But along the way, an architect, mentor, offers free advice, a neighbor, supporter, lends a hand, and a supplier, resource, gives you a discount. See? The universe is testing you, but it's also providing opportunities. The key? Resilience. Bouncing back after a setback, learning from mistakes, and never giving up on your vision. Elias learns that every fall, every challenge, makes him stronger, wiser, and more determined. He understands that the treasures on this road aren't always gold and jewels, but the lessons learned, the friendships forged, and the inner strength he discovers within himself. So the next time you're walking your own road of thorns, remember Elias. Remember that the pain is temporary. The lessons are invaluable, and the treasures are waiting to be discovered. Believe in yourself, keep moving forward, and never give up on your dream. You got this. All right, champions, listen up. Let's dive headfirst into Chapter 4, The Merchant of Regret. Elias trudged along, the sun beating down. He saw a lavish tent ahead, overflowing with silks and spices. A merchant, Elias thought, hoping for some water or maybe news of his path. Inside, he found Omar, a man draped in fine robes, surrounded by mountains of merchandise. Omar, though wealthy, had eyes that held a deep, heavy sadness. Elias asked for water, and Omar, with a sigh, provided it. Then he asked Elias, "Where are you headed, young man?" "Towards my dream," Elias replied, with a newfound determination. Omar chuckled, a bitter sound. "Dreams. I once had them too. I wanted to be a sculptor, to carve beauty from stone, to tell stories with my hands. But my father was a merchant. Sculpting is for fools, he'd say. Security lies in trade." Omar gestured around at his opulent tent. I listened. I became richer than I ever imagined. Look at this. Silks from the east, spices from the south. I want you to look at it. But tell me something, young man. Does this look like happiness to you? Elias saw past the riches, into the hollowness of Omar's eyes. I have everything, Omar continued, his voice cracking, except what I truly wanted. Now my hands, which should have been shaping masterpieces, only count coins. And those coins only remind me of what I traded my soul for. He looked intently at Elias. Don't make my mistake. Security is an illusion if it comes at the cost of your heart's desire. Listen to that seed that whispers inside you. The cost of pursuing wealth, thinking that you will be happy, might be greater than your soul. Learn from my regret, and choose your own treasure before it is too late. Elias felt a surge of energy. Omar's regret was a powerful lesson. It wasn't enough to just have dreams. You had to fight for them, cherish them, live them. This wasn't just about Elias anymore. It was about honoring that intrinsic fire within that calls, to be nurtured. He thanked Omar, his voice filled with newly strengthened resolve. As he stepped back onto the path, the sun seemed brighter, the road less daunting. He was more prepared than ever to follow his unique path and to take inspired action to make his life according to his wish. Now, with more determination, he promised to himself to listen to the whispers of his own seed and to avoid the trap of the merchant of regret. Boom! Did you feel that? That's the power of learning from others, my friends. Don't let someone else's regret become your own reality. You must live in the present and keep in mind that the cost of money will never be greater than the cost of your soul. Go out there and chase those dreams. Make it happen. You've got this. All right, champion. Get ready to unlock the secrets the universe has been whispering to you. Chapter 5. The Language of the Land. Elias was tired. His feet ached. His spirit felt a bit bruised from his encounters. He sat down, leaning against an old olive tree, watching the wind dance through the leaves. He was so focused on getting somewhere, he'd forgotten to see where he was. That's when it hit him. The world was talking all the time. He just wasn't listening. He began to truly look. Not just see, but observe. A hawk circling overhead? A sign that he needed a broader perspective on his situation. A ladybug landing on his hand? A reminder that even tiny things can bring immense joy, and maybe success, it right around the corner. He remembered Old Man Tiber, on the edge of leaving the village. He ran into Tiber before leaving, and mentioned leaving a secure job to pursue his goal. Tiber had told him, "The crow never strives to be another bird. It is happy being the crow, so it flourishes. You focus on improving yourself, don't compare yourself to others." It didn't make sense then, but today he understood. He practiced mindfulness. If he started feeling anxious, he'd find a flower and study its petals, the way its colors blended, and the gentle curve of its stem. This brought him back to the present. He started to notice more coincidences, when someone would say things that struck a chord in his heart, or when he would find himself exactly where he needed to be to see opportunities and people that would help him grow. The universe isn't yelling at you, it's speaking in gentle nudges, quiet whispers, and signs if you remain calm. It's using the language of intuition. That little voice inside? It's not just nerves. It's your inner compass, pointing you towards your true path. Learn to trust it. Practice listening to it. Ignore the doubts and the fears, they will poison the voice. So, my friend, open your eyes. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Listen to the wind rustling through the trees. The world is waiting to guide you, if you're only willing to hear it. The lessons you need are written in the sand, whispered by the wind, reflected in the stars, spoken by the people you meet. Let the universe be your teacher, and you will never lose your way. Now go and listen closely. What is the language of the land telling you today? Okay, get ready to rumble, champion. Chapter 6 coming right up. Chapter 6, The Test of Generosity. Listen up, you're on a roll, Elias is on a roll, and the universe is watching. Remember that feeling when you finally get something? That aha moment. Well, buckle up, because this chapter is all about making sure that aha doesn't just stay inside you, it overflows. Elias, dusted from the road, weary but wiser, found himself approaching a small village. The sun was setting, painting the sky in fiery colors, but the village itself seemed dim. Houses were simple, people wore tired expressions, and the air hung heavy with a quiet kind of sadness. As Elias walked through the dusty streets, he noticed an old woman sitting by the well. Her clothes were patched, her hands were gnarled, and she looked utterly defeated. He overheard snippets of conversation. Crops had failed, livestock was sick, and everyone was struggling just to survive. Now, Elias had been clever. He'd saved some of his earnings from the Merchant of Regret. Remember that guy? Good riddance! He had enough for a comfortable meal and a safe place to sleep, his inner voice whispered. Hold on to it tight, Elias. You earned it. You need to keep moving towards the golden field. But then he looked back at the old woman, then at the gaunt faces of the children playing in the dirt. Something shifted inside him. This wasn't just about him anymore. It was about them. He walked over to the woman and smiled. Good evening, he said. I've got some coins. Would this help you buy some food? She looked up, surprised. Hesitantly, she accepted the coins, tears welling in her eyes. Word spread quickly. The next morning, families came to Elias. Not begging, but simply explaining their situation, and Elias gave generously. The test was this: would he hoard, or would he open his hand? True generosity is not about the amount you give, but the spirit in which you give it. Did he feel resentment giving away his hard-earned money? No, he felt lighter, like a heavy weight had been lifted from his shoulders. It actually boosted his energy. Remember this, holding on to everything too tightly strangles your own spirit. Giving, truly giving, opens up the channels of abundance. It's not about depleting yourself. It's about sharing the bounty you already have. What seeds do you have right now? Knowledge, skills, time, money? How can you plant some of those seeds in someone else's garden? Trust me, and do it. A real-world example. Your coworker is struggling with a new software. You could just think, not my problem. Or you could spend 15 minutes and help them out. That act of generosity will come back to you tenfold. Giving doesn't just benefit the receiver. It supercharges your own journey. It reminds you that success isn't measured in riches, but in the ripples of good you create. Now, go out there and make some waves. You got this. All right, friend, buckle up, because we're about to dive head first into a chapter that's going to change everything. Are you ready to build that bridge? Yes, you are. Chapter 7, The Bridge of Forgiveness. Elias walked, the dust kicking up around his worn sandals. He knew today was the day. Today, he faced Benjamin. Benjamin, his former business partner, who years ago had cheated him, leaving him with nothing but debt and a broken heart. For years, Elias had carried that anger, that resentment, like a heavy stone in his pocket. It weighed him down, poisoned his thoughts, and stopped him from truly moving forward. He found Benjamin working a small stall in the marketplace, selling woven baskets. The years hadn't been kind. Benjamin's face held a weariness that mirrored Elias's own. "Benjamin," Elias said, his voice surprisingly steady. Benjamin looked up, his eyes widening in recognition. "Elias? I never expected to see you again." A wave of anger surged through Elias, but he fought it back. This wasn't about revenge. It was about freedom. "I came to talk about what happened." Benjamin's shoulders slumped. "Elias, I was young, foolish, and greedy. I regret what I did more than you know." Elias listened, surprised. He'd expected denial, anger, anything but remorse. He saw the true regret in Benjamin's eyes. The pain Benjamin had caused him was still there, a dull ache, but it was different now. "That anger," Elias began, "it has held me captive for years. It dictated my choices, my relationships. It stopped me from truly living." He continued, "But I did not realize that holding on to the anger caused bigger harm for me than it ever did to you. In the end, I realized that it was me who became the prisoner of the anger that I wanted to serve you. It was me who suffered for something you forgot, but you still suffered too. I needed to forgive you, Benjamin, and I need to forgive myself." The air crackled with unspoken emotion. I don't deserve your forgiveness," Benjamin stammered. Elias smiled, a genuine, heartfelt smile. "It's not about deserving it. It's about releasing myself." He held out his hand. "Let's build a bridge, Benjamin, a bridge of forgiveness, not to forget, but to finally be free." Benjamin hesitated, then took Elias's hand, his grip firm. In that moment, a weight lifted from Elias's shoulders. The road ahead still had its challenges, but now he walked lighter, unburdened by the past. "See, my friend, that's the power of forgiveness." Forgiveness is not condoning what happened. It's not saying that what they did was okay. No! It's about releasing yourself from the chains of anger and resentment, so you can move forward and start something new. Now, go out there and build some bridges. It's time to get moving in the life that you need and you want. All right, friend, let's get fired up. Chapter 8, The Gardener of Patience, is all about slowing down and trusting the process. You got this. Chapter 8, The Gardener of Patience. Elias, still a little bruised from his encounter with the deceptive merchant, found himself drawn to a small, meticulously kept garden. An old man, his hands stained with earth, hummed a quiet tune as he tended to his plants. This was no ordinary garden. It seemed to pulse with a quiet, vibrant energy. "Good day," Elias greeted, feeling a sense of calm wash over him. The old man smiled, wrinkles crinkling around his eyes. "And good day to you, traveler. I am called Ben. What brings you to my humble garden?" Elias explained his journey, his frustrations, and his impatience to reach the golden field. Ben listened patiently, nodding occasionally. "You seek treasure," Ben said finally, "but you seem to forget that all treasures require time to bloom. Look at this rose bush." He gestured towards a bush laden with buds. "I could force these buds open, tear away the petals, and reveal the flower prematurely. But what would I have? A damaged, short-lived bloom." He pointed to a tiny sprout pushing its way through the soil. "Even this small thing needs time, sunlight, and water at its own pace. Rushing it won't make it grow faster, it will simply kill it." "But I feel so much pressure," Elias confessed. "I want to reach my goal quickly." Ben chuckled. "The greatest pressure comes from within, my friend. Life is not a race, but a dance. You must learn to feel the rhythm, to trust that things will unfold in their own perfect time." He then offered Elias to observe the plants and assist him. Elias initially had trouble, always trying to do things faster. But Ben insisted that he slow down, feel the soil, and observe how each plant responds to his touch. "Patience is not passive waiting," Ben explained. "It's active trust. It's about doing what you can today, knowing that the full harvest will come tomorrow. It's about nurturing the seeds you've planted, trusting the process, and knowing that with consistent effort, you will see results. Think of your goals like a garden. You can't plant seeds one day and expect a full harvest the next. You need to water them, weed them, protect them from the elements, and most importantly, give them time to grow. When you feel that urge to rush, take a deep breath. Remember Ben and his garden. Remember that real growth takes time. Trust the process, my friend. You are planting seeds of greatness every single day. Keep going." Alright, champion. Let's dive headfirst into Chapter 9, The Echoes of Doubt. Buckle up, because this is where the real battle begins. The battle within. Chapter 9, The Echoes of Doubt. Elias pressed on, his sandals kicking up dust on the increasingly uneven path. The initial thrill of the journey had begun to fade, replaced by a gnawing uncertainty. You see, my friend, even the brightest stars can be obscured by the darkest clouds. And those clouds? They're called doubt. One day, huddled beneath a scraggly tree, Elias heard it. Not an external voice, but an internal one. What are you even doing, Elias? Giving up everything for a silly dream? You're no treasure hunter. You'll fail, you always do. Ouch! That's the voice of doubt, speaking in the language of your deepest insecurities. Elias felt his shoulders slump. Remember how energized he was initially? This doubt started chipping away at him. Maybe my family was right. This is foolish. I should go back. Thoughts like these. They are the echoes of past failures, the whispers of fear dressed as logic. Let's relate this to you. Think about a time you wanted to start something new. A business, a new skill, whatever it is. Do you remember that feeling? That burning excitement? Now, did doubts creep in? Did your mind start listing all the reasons why it wouldn't work? I'm not good enough. Others are better than me. I'll fail. These are the very echoes that can derail us. Elias sat with those feelings and reflected on past failures. Then he remembered an old farmer who taught him how to grow crops. The farmer taught him, the seed sprout when you believe in it and nurture it. Sometimes, the seed do not sprout even with all your hard work. But that does not mean all seeds will never sprout. This lesson instilled wisdom in him. The farmer's wisdom stirred something within him. He remembered why he started this journey in the first place, the burning desire to achieve his dream, the feeling of not wanting to live in regret. Doubt is a liar. It's a manipulator. Elias realized that doubt wasn't his own truth. It was just a recording playing on repeat. So what did he do? He didn't fight it head on. Instead, he acknowledged it. Okay, doubt, I hear you, you're scared. But I'm choosing to believe in myself anyway. He then started listing down what he is grateful for, and also things that he had achieved to date. All of these helps him to believe in his dream again. Here's the key takeaway. You can't completely silence the echoes, but you can control the volume. When doubt creeps in, acknowledge it. Feel it, and then choose to believe in your dream anyway. Reaffirm your commitment. Remind yourself why you started. That's how you turn the whispers of doubt into the roar of determination. Keep moving, keep believing, and remember, you are stronger than your doubts. Alright, listen up, future world changer. You've made it this far in Elias's journey, and trust me, the best is yet to come. Get ready to dive head first, because Chapter 10, The River of Transformation, is where things get really exciting. Chapter 10, The River of Transformation. Elias stood at the edge of the raging river, the Great Change, as the locals called it. It wasn't just any river. It was known for its unpredictable currents and the way it reshaped the land around it. For days, Elias had planned how to cross, but he couldn't find a suitable way. He had to reach the other side. The path to the golden field lay beyond. He tried building a raft, but the current was too strong. He searched for a shallow crossing, but it was nowhere to be found. Frustration mounted and despair began to creep in. What am I supposed to do? Elias cried out, the sound swallowed by the roar of the water. Suddenly he noticed something. Upstream, a group of villagers were working together using ropes and pulleys to move large stones. They weren't trying to cross the river, they were harnessing its power. They were building a system to divert some of the water, creating a calmer channel. Elias watched, fascinated. He had been so focused on finding a way across the river that he hadn't considered working with it. He approached the villagers and asked if he could help. They welcomed him warmly, showing him how to secure the ropes and guide the stones. Working alongside them, Elias discovered a hidden talent. He was a natural at problem-solving, quickly figuring out how to optimize their system. As they worked, Elias began to understand the river wasn't an obstacle, but an opportunity. It was a force of nature that could be channeled and used. Elias learned new skills, made new friends, and discovered strengths he never knew he possessed. Through helping the villagers, he saw change can be a powerful tool, creating opportunities for growth and connection. His old plans dissolved, replaced by a new understanding of the river. Elias realized something profound that day. Obstacles aren't always what they seem. Sometimes they're invitations to adapt, to learn, and to discover new facets of ourselves. The river of transformation forced Elias to shed his old skin and embrace a stronger, more resourceful version of himself. He was no longer the same Elias who had stood defeated at the river's edge. He was someone equipped to face challenges with creativity, resilience, and a newfound belief in his own potential. This is your river, my friend. The challenges that seem impossible are actually chances for you to uncover your hidden power. Embrace the change. Don't fight the current. Learn to navigate it. You've got this. All right, champions. Buckle up. We're diving deep into Chapter 11, The Desert of Loneliness. Remember, every hero's journey has its trials. And this one's about finding yourself in the vast expanse of solitude. Our friend Elias, he's hit a rough patch. He's walking across what feels like a never-ending desert. The sun beats down, but it's the silence that's deafening. He feels utterly alone, disconnected. His messages go unread, his calls unanswered. It's like everyone has just vanished. Ever been there? Feels like the world's having a party and you weren't invited, right? Listen up. Loneliness isn't a sign that you're unlovable or unwanted. It's often a sign that you're not spending enough quality time with the most important person in your life, you. Think of it like this. Elias depended on external validation to feel complete. He needed his friends, his mentors, someone to tell him he was on the right track. Now, stripped bare, with just sand and scorching sun, he's forced to look inward. The desert is a mirror, reflecting back his own incomplete self. He starts to question everything. Is he good enough? Is he strong enough? Am I on the right path? The answer, my friends, lies not in finding someone else, but in finding yourself. Elias, in his desperation, starts writing in the sand. He writes his fears, his hopes, his dreams. He talks to the wind. He meditates under the star, finding solace in the hugeness of it all. Slowly, painstakingly, he starts to connect with a core of strength he didn't know he possessed. Loneliness becomes his teacher. He learns self-reliance. He learns to value his own company. He discovers that true connection isn't about external validation, it's about radiating your own light. The brighter you shine from within, the more genuine connections you'll attract. The key takeaway? If you're feeling lost in your own desert, don't despair. Embrace the solitude. Use it to dig deep, to unearth your inner resilience. Remember, the strongest trees grow in the harshest winds. Plant that seed of self-discovery and watch it bloom. Go get it done. Believe in yourself and take action. All right, champion, let's conquer this mountain of fear together. Get ready, because this is where you truly discover what you're made of. Chapter 12, The Mountain of Fear. Elias stood at the foot of it, the mountain of fear. It loomed large, its peaks shrouded in mist, whispering tales of danger and failure. Every step forward felt like wading through thick mud. He could hear the voice in his head, the one that screamed, "Turn back, you're not strong enough, you'll only fail." That voice, my friend, is the voice of fear. We all have it. He remembered old Thomas, the baker in his village, who dreamed of opening his own pastry shop. He had the recipes, the talent, the burning desire, but fear whispered louder. What if you lose all your money? What if nobody buys your pastries? What if you're a failure? Thomas never opened that shop. He lived his life with that what if haunting him. Elias refused to become another Thomas. He started to climb. The path was rocky, treacherous. Doubt gnawed at him. Maybe I should go back. This is too hard. He pictured his dream, a vibrant garden blooming with his efforts. That vision gave him strength to take another step. Suddenly a voice boomed, "You cannot pass!" A shadowy figure materialized before him, radiating negativity. It embodied all of Elias's deepest anxieties: failure, judgment, inadequacy. This, he realized, wasn't a monster, but a reflection of his own insecurities. "I am fear," the figure boomed, "and you will never escape me." Elias stood his ground. "You are a part of me, yes, but you do not define me." I acknowledge you, but I will not let you control me. He remembered what the gardener of patience had told him. Fear is a compass. It shows you what you need to face. This mountain wasn't an obstacle, it was an opportunity. An opportunity to learn, to grow, to become stronger. He didn't fight the shadow. He didn't run. He simply kept climbing. With each step, the shadow seemed to shrink, its voice growing fainter. He realized that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the triumph over it. It's feeling the fear, acknowledging it, and saying, "I'm doing it anyway." Finally, he reached the peak. The mist cleared, revealing a breathtaking view. The fear was gone, replaced by a sense of accomplishment he'd never known before. He had faced his greatest fear and come out stronger on the other side. "That's right, my friend, you can do that too." He was ready for what came next. Are you? Okay, here we go. Get ready to turn the page and discover the secret to staying on your path. Chapter 13. The Village of Contentment. Elias, weary from his journey, finally stumbled upon a village nestled in a valley bathed in sunlight. It was unlike any place he'd seen before. No bustling markets, no frantic energy, just peace. Smiling faces greeted him. People worked in their gardens, sang simple songs, and shared meals together. There was a quiet joy that resonated in every corner of the village. "Welcome, traveler," a kindly old woman called, handing him a piece of freshly baked bread. "Stay as long as you like, we have plenty to share." Elias spent days in the village. He helped mend fences, learned to weave baskets, and listened to stories passed down through generations. He saw how they found joy in the smallest things: a ripe tomato, a shared laugh, a sunset. As he laughed with villagers under a starry night, a question lingered in his mind that, maybe, just maybe, this is it. This contentment, is this the answer? He felt a powerful pull to stay, to put down roots, forget about his dream, and simply be. No more struggles, no more uncertainty, just peaceful existence. He even started to envision himself with a small garden, laughing with these people, and living happily ever after. But then, one morning, he saw a young boy staring wistfully at the mountains in the distance. Elias asked him, "Do you want to travel far away?" The boy replied, "I do, but my parents said that our satisfaction lies here and that no adventure is needed in order to be fulfilled." In that instant, Elias knew he couldn't stay. The village wasn't wrong, but it wasn't right for him. Contentment, he realized, wasn't about settling for less than what stirred your soul. It's about realizing your full potential and not give up. It's a beautiful thing, but it had to come from living your own truth, not someone else's version of happiness. He approached the villagers, gratitude filling his heart. "Thank you," he said. "This place is a haven, but my path lies elsewhere. I must continue my journey." They nodded, their smiles understanding. One old man gave him a small, smooth stone. "May it remind you," he said, "that true contentment comes from within, no matter where you are." Elias left the village of contentment with a newfound clarity. He understood that complacency could be a trap, a sweet-smelling flower that hid sharp thorns. True fulfillment wasn't about escaping hardship, but about embracing the journey and pursuing your unique path, even when it led you far from comfort and familiarity. All right, champions, buckle up, because we're about to dive into one of the most rewarding chapters of Elias's adventure. Chapter 14, The Golden Field. After all the trials, all the lessons etched into his soul, Elias stood at the edge of it. The golden field. It wasn't just golden in color. It shimmered with a light that seemed to emanate from within the earth itself. The air hummed with a gentle energy, a silent symphony of promise. It was even better than Seed had whispered. The crop was unbelievably lush and fertile. Remember the whispering seed, the tiny nudge that started this entire quest? This field was what it had been pointing to all along. This abundance, this beauty, this potential. It was overwhelming. You can almost feel the excitement and accomplishment in Elias's heart. But here's the kicker, folks. As Elias walked into the field, he understood something incredibly profound. He realized that reaching the golden field, getting here, it wasn't just about the field itself. It wasn't merely about achieving the dream, that one goal you think will make you happy. It was about everything that happened before. Think about it. Remember the merchant trapped in regret, the hard lessons in generosity, courage, and forgiveness? They were the nutrients he gathered on his journey. They taught him empathy. They strengthened his conviction. They brought him closer to his dream. What would the field mean if his heart was not ready to recognize and appreciate the abundance? The thorns, the loneliness, the fears, they weren't obstacles, they were teachers. Each challenge, each person he met, each lesson he learned, they were all threads woven into the tapestry of his transformation. The golden field was a symbol, yes, but it was the journey that gave the symbol its meaning. The journey was the real treasure. Elias understood that the fruits of this field were not only food for the body, they were fuel for his soul. And yours too. It reminded him that what starts small can grow into something magnificent. Now, ask yourself, what's your golden field? What dream are you chasing? More importantly, are you paying attention to the lessons along the way? Every stumble, every victory, every interaction, it's all shaping you for something amazing. So embrace the journey, learn from the road, and get ready to shine. Your golden field awaits, and you are worthy and ready. Okay, get ready. We're at the finish line. But really, it's just the beginning. Let's dive into the final chapter. Chapter 15, Planting New Seeds. My friends, look at Elias. Remember our unsure traveler? Now look at him, standing tall amidst a golden field. He's not just a farmer. He's a beacon. He understands something profound. His journey wasn't just for him. It was a demonstration, a testament to what's possible for anyone when they listen to their heart. Elias spends his days not just tending his crops, but tending to people. He shares his story, not to brag, but to ignite the spark within others. Imagine him sitting under the shade of an ancient olive tree, surrounded by young faces, eager to learn. It wasn't easy, he tells them, his voice raspy from the sun and wind. But every single step, every failure, every triumph led me here, and I didn't do it alone. He smiles, remembering the help he received, the kindness he encountered. The world is full of helpers, if you're brave enough to ask. He teaches them about soil, about seasons, about the patient dance of life, but more importantly, he teaches them about believing in themselves. He shows them that the seeds of their dreams are already planted within them. They just need nurturing. He shares a simple example. Consider Anita, a shy girl who always dreamt of being a painter. Elias encourages her, provides her with basic supplies, and shares some tips. And guess what? Soon her paintings start catching attention, bringing joy and beauty to her town. Elias firmly believes that your success means nothing if you don't share it, if you don't use it to uplift others. He encourages everyone to find what they are good at and share it generously without expecting anything in return. Your journey doesn't end when you reach your dream, he explains. That's when it truly begins. You become the mentor, the guide, the inspiration for someone else. Elias understands the cyclical nature of inspiration. He received, he achieved, and now he gives. And in giving he receives even more, a profound sense of purpose, a deep and abiding joy. So don't just reach for your dream. Grab it, hold it tight, and then use it to shine a light for others to follow. Plant new seeds of inspiration and watch a whole new world blossom. Because, my friends, that's where true fulfillment lies. Now go out there and cultivate greatness within yourself and others. The world is waiting for you and your unique gifts. Go get started.